Friday. All right, guys, give me a second. I gotta find a Bible verse for today. Hope everyone's doing good. Let's see here. Okay, guys. All right, as everyone comes in, this is Philippians 4:9. That's Philippians 4:9. Those things which ye have both learned and received and heard, seen in me, do, and the God of peace shall be with you. Woo! All right, come on, guys. I'm about to give that one more run. Okay, Philippians 4:9. Those things which ye have both learned and received and heard and seen in me, do, and the God of peace shall be with you. Ooh. Now, what does that say, family? That clearly says, as you watch the way of the Lord, as you watch how he moves, you mimic it. You do things like God do. It doesn't say that we're going to be successful, but we try. We do the best we can along the way. Okay, guys. All right, so happy Friday. Is everyone excited as people get in? When you watch, get in and like. Get in and like. Just don't watch like I'm in a circus or a zoo or some sort of, come on, guys. When you come in, like. All right, it's Friday. Woo! Yeah! Okay, we're already getting started. Ready for the weekend. Okay, guys. One thing I want to say is, remember, when you woke up this morning, when you got up and opened your eyes and got ready for the day, just think about it. You had a choice. When you first woke up, you had a choice. You could be anything in the world that you wanted to be when you woke up. Be great. Be great. You could be anything in the world. Be great. And that is what greatness is. It's the ability to exhibit your best. Be great. Don't be mediocre. Don't be small. Don't shrink yourself, as I talked about before. None of that other stuff. Be great with everything you do. Okay, guys, I just wanted to make sure I made that point. Now, today, what I'm going to talk about, good people, is I'm going to talk about separating the flesh from the spirit. Okay, as you know, on this channel, we're all about exploring, we're all about development, we're all about finding purpose. And so, what you have to understand is when you are taking things to the next level, you are going to have to separate the flesh from the spirit, because you have to remember that your flesh is going to want lots of things. Your flesh is going to want, alcohol. It's going to want to escape. It's going to want sex. It's going to want gambling. Sometimes maybe you might get tempted. You're going to want to do all of these things in the flesh. You're going to get angry, want to punch somebody. All of these things, okay, is your flesh. And what you have to understand is that that's your flesh. Okay, that's your flesh. And when you go into the actual spirit, that is your strength. That is who you are. Come on, guys, give me some likes as you come in. Give me some likes. So when you go into your spirit, that is your strength, not your flesh. Your flesh will always be something that's going to work against you because it's not controlled by God. Okay, that's your free will. Okay, so your spirit is what you have to get to the point where you listen to your spirit and not your flesh. Okay, once you can do that, then come on, guys, give me some more likes. Got 13 people in. Let's get them likes up. Come on, we're going into the weekend. Woo! Yeah, we're excited. Giving you a good word today, too. Come on, guys. So remember, and you might say, Mr. Frederick, what do we do? How do we get that flesh going? How do we get that spirit going? What's the process of moving out of our flesh and into our spirit? It's not easy. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be hard. I'm telling you, it's going to be painful. So you can talk about it, but actually doing it is painful because you're going to have to be betrayed. You're going to have to bump your head. You're going to have to see rejection. You're going to have to all of these negative experiences, all of this opposition. When you're changing from living off of your flesh to your spirit, it's going to be rough. Okay, it's going to be tough. You're going to want to give up. You're going to want to quit. See, some of these coaches on here tell you everything is easy. Everything is oh, just work out, just pray, and it's all gonna be okay. That's not true. You got come on, guys, give me some more some more likes. You got to do a whole lot more than just praying and working out and studying. Okay, it's a lot deeper. It's a lot. You got to do some digging into your insecurities. You got to find out what are your real goals. You have to find out what are your real impediments. What are the things that have been holding you back over the years? You got to eliminate negative people. That's not going to be easy because you've already had these people around you for years now, but you can't keep them around you if you want to go up. Okay, so if you want to advance, how can you advance when you're keeping the same people around you that got you where you're at? So that's what I'm saying. You got to be very honest. And when you start peeling away and becoming more of a spirit, what's going to happen is they're going to fall away because they're not real. Those people are there for you, what they can get out of you. Okay, a lot of people, they're there for what can I get out of this person? It's a lot of people that are getting negative, that they're getting your money. It could be getting your body. It could be getting your attention. It could be your ideas. You're probably very, very talented. And so since you're talented, they are sucking up all your light, your energy, your joy. And you got it around energy vampires. So this is what I'm trying to explain. You are going to have to go to battle to get your spirit right. You're going to have to go to serious battle. And that battle is going to be the toughest thing that you could do in your life. But once you get it, now you have risen. Once you get it, now you have risen. And no one can ever take it from you. No one can ever take it from you. Once you finally get it, to overcome your physical, your flesh, like it says, you must crucify the flesh daily. Once you get it, now you can ascend. And you will see your life change. You will see that now I can quit gambling. Now I can quit smoking. Now I don't have to drink like that anymore. Because a lot of the things you were doing, it wasn't of your spirit. It was of your flesh. It wasn't of your spirit. It was of your flesh. So what you will find is, oh, these habits that I had, I don't even have to do them anymore. Why? Why am I not going out and drinking and getting drunk anymore? It's because now you're living off of your spirit. Okay, you're living off of your spirit, not your flesh. So when you live off of the fruit of the spirit, now you embody all of the things that they tell you in the good book. They tell you full of Holy Spirit, joy, self-control. Okay, all of these things you have now available to you at your disposal because you have conquered the flesh and now you're living in the spirit. I'm telling you, it's amazing. People can't get you mad like they used to. People can't get you upset. They used to be able to get you upset back in the day. And now if you don't even think about these people. You're like, who? Someone could mention them to you and you say, who is Craig? who Janet? Who is Carla? You don't even remember them. Literally, you don't remember them because now you're living in your spirit. So your physical experienced those people. So now as you've elevated and gone to the next level, these people aren't even, come on guys, get some more likes in there. Let's get some more likes up, guys. These people aren't relevant any longer because now you have elevated. You have gone to another level, and most people aren't on that level. Most people are living in the world. They need to have their Netflix. They need to have their their food, whatever junk food it is that they're eating, they gotta have it. They need to have that bottle of Dawn or that bottle of whatever they drink now. They need to have all of these things because this is their pacifier. Their pacifier for life, as opposed to the Holy Spirit and the Word. And again, like I said, it's not an easy trek, guys. It's going to be difficult. But once you get there, and all you got to do is take that one step. You take that one step towards the Lord, and He'll take two for you. That's all you got to do. Come on, guys, get some likes in here. That's all you got to do is take that one step for the Lord. He'll take two for you and do the rest. But you got to trust in Him. And even when it gets rough, you might have anxiety, you might have depression, you might have all of these things. But after that night, the morning comes. Okay? The morning comes after that dark night. And so what you got to understand is, as long as you can stand up and walk away from the dark and into the light. So just existing is enough. Come on, guys, give me some more likes. Just existing through it and having the faith, ask God for the faith to keep you strong enough to make it through. And understand that that's the breakthrough. The breakthrough is going through the rough. The breakthrough is going through the rough patches, going through the sleepless nights, going through the sweats, going through the denial of your flesh. Oh, I want to really go call, Sally I used to mess with. But Sally's no good for you. So when you can conquer that body and not call Sally that night, or for ladies, don't call Sam. The more you win those little battles, that's how you get to win the war. But the more battles you can win, thank you, Rita, thank you. The more battles you can win individually, the closer you are to winning the war. And this war is daily. This war is not, or it's not a battle that's just one time. No. Every morning you got to wake up and say to yourself, put your armor on, full armor of the Lord, every morning. Man, it's another day. I got to do it again. You're going to be met with temptation every single day of your life on this walk. And it's going to be a harder walk for you because you're trying to do the right thing. So people that aren't, it's going to be easier for them. They don't have any morals. They don't have any principles. They have no character. They could do anything. They don't care. They don't answer to God. So their walk is easier, but your walk is not. But in the end, you know what your reward is. You can sleep at night. Your body will improve because your spirit is not going to allow yourself to abuse your body. You got a better health. And guess what? Better than anything, you know where you're going when you leave up out of here. You're not scared to leave up out of here because you can close your eyes and know, I was obedient. I was obedient to my best ability. And that's the difference, is that some people are just living just for now and for this world. And then it's the others that are living for after this world. And you get the rewards while you're here too. It's just that you have to have the seeing eyes to see that. So my message is, separating that spirit from the flesh is a battle, but you can do it. And once you do it, you can accomplish anything in the world, because God says, He says, all things, those who believe in the Lord, all things, okay, will work out for the good for those who believe in the Lord, all things. So what you got to remember is, it's very important. And I tell people, yes, I'm a life coach, but I'm a life coach about God. I'm a life coach about what helped me. It was the Lord that helped me. All the schools, all the therapy, all of the doctors, they could give you pills, all of the liquor or drugs, marijuana. Nothing got the power of the Lord. Believe that. Nothing has the power of the Lord. All of that stuff is temporary. It comes and it goes. It's a temporary patch. But God, that's a medicine that heals you forever. That's a medicine that heals you forever. It's the elixir that you don't need anything after that. You don't need anything. And it's a process. Again, you're going to be shaky. Sometimes you're going to revert. Sometimes you're going to have hopefully you don't have major, what do you call them, when people go backwards or whatever. But hopefully you can learn from whenever you do have any sort of backstepping or whatever you call it. I don't even know the word. That's how much I'm focused on what I'm doing. I don't even remember the word. I knew it at one time, but I don't remember words of stuff that I don't want. I don't remember names and words and places and people that aren't good for me and I don't want to be a part of my life. My mind erases those things. That's right. My mind erases that stuff because it's not relevant. Since I'm not going backwards, why should I remember the word for it? Now it came to me backsliding. But see, I don't even want to remember the word because I'm not going back. I might have a temporary, get weak and I got to eat something. I told myself I wasn't going to eat. Maybe I have a beer. I wasn't going to drink a beer. That's okay. But that's far. I'm not where I want to be, but I'm far from where I used to be. So what you got to remember is that as you are ascending and you're going to the next level, keep God first. Bury that flesh and let that spirit come up, guys. And that's my word for the day for you guys. Not going to be long. And I want to say that I'm going to talk about later next week. We'll talk about getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. And that's part of what I'm talking about now is when you are changing the spirit, letting the spirit rise and burying the flesh. It's going to be uncomfortable. We're going to talk about next week too. There's no competition. I want to talk about that. There's no competition. No competition. Okay, so we're also going to talk about betrayal. We're going to talk about betrayal as well. We're going to talk about, let's see, what else? With growth comes the pain. We're going to talk, all of this is coming up, guys. All of this is coming up. So just remember that when we have these situations in the world, when we are going and doing our best to improve, when we meet opposition, when we meet individuals that are going to impede our progress, when we meet haters, that's inevitable. Because remember, you're going up. So you're going to have obstacles of your own. You're going to have jobs that might deny you. You're going to have haters. You're going to have all of that stuff. But you got to remember, in the end, you will win. In the end, you'll win because all of those people and problems, they'll dissipate over time. They're going away. They're just temporary. So they're just projections of miserable people, okay, in situations that you can't control. Your tire can get flat one day. Maybe a check comes late. Maybe anything can happen. Your dog got sick. Your kid gets sick. Anything can happen in the world that's bad and that doesn't agree, that you didn't expect and doesn't agree with your path. But what you have to be reminded of is that those situations are just tests. That's all they are. They're just tests. They're tests. I was talking about earlier, racism. It's a test. It's a test. It's a test of your fortitude. And you wonder why black people are so strong? Black people are so strong because of what we've had to put up with. Okay, so if you got to constantly put up with not just the regular life and living life and things that happen in your family and making money, but all these obstacles, more obstacles against you, you got to put up with that. But then you have an added weight of dealing with haters, natural haters, not because you're doing anything, no, because they don't want you equal to them, because you could take their woman, you could make more money than them, you're smarter than them. They're afraid of all of these threats. So that's why I always say that when you see a person of color, black, whatever you want to call terminology, know that that person had to do 10 times more work just to exist than someone that's white. That's worldwide. So know that you're looking at a king or queen because she has to step in those shoes and get the looks and get the treatment and get the denials, okay? All of that kind of stuff. She had to step in that and get on that bus and go to that job and talk to that manager that hates her. He had to deal with the same thing every day, plus everything else that a white person got to deal with. So when you're looking at that king or queen, understand who you're looking at. You're looking at someone with mental fortitude that you have never proven that you had. See, until you go through it, how are you going to grow through it? So when someone who is not black says, hey, what are you complaining about? It's not that bad. What are you talking about? You could do it. When they're saying that, they haven't walked in a black person's shoes or a black man or black woman's shoes. So you got to laugh at that. So how can someone who hasn't walked in your shoes tell you about how easy it is for you? That's like someone with a college degree, someone without a degree say, hey, that's easy, I can go do it. Okay, then go do it. Someone with a certificate or any sort of thing that they had to work for. Hey, anybody could do that. That's nothing. Then go do it then. Until you go do it, do not tell me how easy it is to deal with. Until you wear this skin that I'm in, you can't begin to question me. Okay? Because the reality is that it took me a lot more to be me than it did for you to be you. Okay? It took me a lot more for me to be me and sit here right now and talk to you at almost noon on Friday. It took a lot more for me to be here than it did for you to sit there and watch me. If you don't look like me because you haven't experienced what I experienced. So that's why I'm trying to tell you that separating that flesh from the spirit is powerful, because honestly, a person of color, a black person, whatever, that has to already deal with so many things, that making that separation just makes you even stronger, because what you're being persecuted for is your flesh. You're being persecuted for your flesh. Think about that. That's all racism is. They're not persecuting you because you've done anything to the person or you've hurt them, or no, it's just simply your flesh. So imagine if you bury that flesh. If you concentrate on your spirit, you're elevating. You're elevating because this person's only holding you down by your physical, but you're not a physical being, you're a spiritual being. So therefore, all those worldly traps don't work on you. I can't flash all of this money in front of you and all of these girls and all, and you're going to be tempted because your spirit is so strong, you know how to deny the flesh. So it's more important for someone who is being persecuted, someone who's being oppressed, who's living in an unequal system. It's more important for that type of individual to be spiritual. It's more important. And that's why you see the breakdown of the black community. Because when you break the church down, that's what holds us together. So you say, oh, Mr. Frederick, why you talk about church and God? This you coaching, yes. But I know that people that look like me, I know that they need to have tools in order to deal with this situation out here. And I know that a lot of times it's missing. And you don't want to listen to the pastor who's saying the same scriptures and singing the same hymns. Every generation has to have a new voice, okay? A new package, okay? Every generation, it changes over. It's like pimps. Pimps aren't wearing long perms anymore and long white coats. You know, they're looking like rappers. And that's the same thing for preaching. You don't have to have a white collar. You don't have to have a collar. You don't have to be whatever domination you are. If you got the Holy Spirit in you, you're preaching. So whether you're trying to get people to improve their lives, whether you are trying to feed the hungry, whether you are saving a young lady from being assaulted, whatever. If you're doing the work of the Lord, you're doing the work of the Lord. I don't care what your title is. I don't care where you're at. I don't care if your shirt is open, your shirt is closed. All that stuff don't matter. Do you hear my message? That's what should matter. Do you hear my message? Because if you're not listening to the message and you're just looking at the package, come on, you already know where your flesh is at. Your flesh is here. Your spirit ain't here, because your spirit, if you're listening with the spirit, you say, hey, what is he saying? What is he saying? And the more you listen, the more you start to comprehend. And you realize that what I'm saying makes sense. If I can build my spirit, and a lot of my problems came from me living off of the flesh. A lot of my problems came from me living off of eating the wrong foods, okay, dating the wrong women, okay, going to the wrong places, creating the wrong habits, smoking and drinking excessively. A lot of people's I'm not the only one. A lot of people's problems arise from those things. And what you have to understand is that when you start to elevate the spirit and you use your spirit first and you're living off of that, you can deny the flesh. So that, what does that eliminate? That eliminates smoking, or at least excessively, drinking, again, excessively, gambling, excessively. It eliminates all of these things. because your flesh is, that's all it's feeding, the dopamine, the serotonin, the adrenaline. That's all those things are feeding, quick fixes. You see, but when you start to concentrate on that spirit, a funny thing happens. That spirit elevates. So now you can see things from a different perspective. That girl is going to set you up. Now you're not just so quick to jump into bed with her. Now you're not going to the hotel room with her. Now you're saying, what would Jesus do? He wouldn't do this. At least that voice is in your head. See, but the voice not even in your head. You're just going off your flesh. You're walking right into a pit. You're walking right into a pit. And I'm telling you, it takes a lot of strength to go through the process. That's why I say I didn't sell it to you guys. It's not easy. It's an everyday battle. See, and you got to have the right kind of person to who have been through it to tell you. I had to be strong to go through it. I had to face opposition. I had to deny my flesh. Everything I'm telling you, I had to experience. Okay, I had to build that mental, spiritual fortitude. And yes, the physical gets better even. The physical gets better as a byproduct. It's going to get better because of the way it works. We are inside out. So when you see someone on the outside, you don't judge them, but you can clearly say if it has been if it's not being appreciated, if their temple is not being properly taken care of, you can tell. And I can guarantee you that usually it's not from the outside, it's something inside going on. It's some sort of pain that's going on that's not healed. It's some sort of unhealed emotion that they're experiencing, and they just take it out on how they treat themselves. That's all. Okay, so that's the thing. That's why you have to have empathy. Not everyone has empathy. If they see someone severely overweight, or someone who smoking, and someone who is just doing the wrong things, careless with their body, not everyone cares. But the good thing is some people do. Not everyone can be a doctor. Not everyone could be a lawyer. Not everyone could be a police officer. Not everyone could be a fireman. But guess what? We need all of those. We need all of them. And that's the same thing with any community. We need people that look like T.D. Jakes, that knows every scripture. And we need some people that look like me. Really, we need them all. What war is fought with just one method of weaponry? Not one war was ever won by using one weapon. Oh, okay, I'm going to use tanks only. Think about that. I'm only going to use tanks for this battle. No, I'm using tanks. I'm using spies. I'm using planes, air, land, sea. I'm using everything. You understand? So understand what I'm trying to explain to you guys is that it's going to come in the message is going to come in different ways. You're going to get the message in different ways, but that's not the point. The point is, forget how many ways the message comes, because people are always going to have different, opinions. Who cares? People look different. Who cares? What is that person about? It's just like I was telling the guy a couple of days ago that got on here, and I told him, I said, hold on, guys, let me get some water. Yeah, so I told the guy, he said, you hate white people. He said, why don't you like white people? I said, what? I said, man, I don't hate. I grew up, had friends. I've been around them all the time. But he said that because I wasn't agreeing with him, right? And then I spoke positively about black people. I was saying, hey, we don't get our credit. And so that was intimidating him. So, he got, now all of a sudden I didn't like white people. I said, no, that's not true. I mean, I had no problem with white people. I said, no one chooses what they do. I love everybody. No one chooses, who they are. So I don't judge people off of how they look and all that. I judge you off of what do you do with that. That's how I wage my judgment on people. What do you do with who you are? Because you can, like Tribe Called Quest said, you could be white but don't crep the road. You could be black and don't have no soul. Or it might go the other way around. You could be black and don't have no soul. You could be white and don't crep the road. So it's not about what you come into the world as. No one picked to be anything. I didn't say I want to be the 6'3" handsome black guy. I didn't say that. I just came in the world that way, full of joy and love. But I'm glad I was made that way I am, and I'm proud of myself. I love myself. You daggone right. Always. And everyone out there needs to love who they are. That the problem in the world is not that people don't people love themselves. The problem is not enough people do love themselves. So beating someone up, robbing somebody, all this kind of stuff is not loving yourself. All that anger being expressed, we don't have to be angry. Yeah, what are you angry for? You are who you are, make the best out of it. Until you start seeing people, and if you're perceptive, you'll see people in wheelchairs at times, and you're sitting up complaining over, oh, I'm upset, I'm 10 pounds overweight. Oh, I can't fit this dress. I can't. Then some lady or man roll past you in a wheelchair, and you complain about being able to fit into a dress. See, you got to understand that every message is not for everyone, but developing your spirit will allow you to see the messages that are for you. That's the difference. As you develop your spirit, you're not worried about how the person looks. You don't even care. You have the ears, the eyes to hear, to see what they're saying. And not only that, now you can take it in and you can apply it to yourself. And now you truly have reached another level of gaining knowledge. How many people do you know, as soon as the person don't look like them, as soon as the person don't talk like them, they tune their ears off? Oh, they don't look like me, don't sound like me. Oh, you got an accent. One of my favorite preachers that I watch, guys, his name is Tancredi. He's from South Africa. I watch him almost every week. His name is, Ms. Tancredi. Check him out. He's on the YouTube, guys. He's South African guy, but check him out. He's the apostle. Great, wonderful, wonderful preaching. So what you got to understand is that I have moved past that. We say, oh, God, dog, the racism. Yeah, see, that's the small-mindedness, and that's the spirit of the devil. So you got to understand, whenever God and light is present, the devil going to be right on it, quick. The darkness is going to ascend quickly because it's light. So light doesn't just attract other light. Light also attracts darkness. It's just the way it works. I don't worry. I've been hated on my whole life. You know what I mean? People try to come up with things. I like, yo, I ain't even say anything. I ain't even look at you. It don't matter because I couldn't hide. I mean, hey, I am who I am. I don't want to hide. I like myself. But some people, that type of light, that confidence, all of that is spiritual and physical with me. So I get the double whammy. But some people, that makes them want to attack you. And I used to get frustrated when I was younger, but it happened so often that eventually I got to the point where I was like, you know what? I'm me. I don't care who and what you think. I'm me. Get the hell out of my face. Let me be me. Let me be great. If you got a problem with it, keep it to yourself. And that's how you got to get. You cannot, if you let people's dismay or negativity or their darkness, you let that touch your light. You know how many people try to touch my light over the years? Are you kidding me? You know how many people try to touch my light and tell me this and do this and do this? I don't like the way you walk. I don't like the way you hold your head. I had a teacher when I was in high school. This is no lie. I had a teacher tell my father in high school, I don't like the way he holds his head up. Literally, my English teacher in high school told my father that he walks with his head up too much. I think he's arrogant. And my father, being who he was, he said, well, shit, ain't no problem with I don't have no problem with that, And I was laughing. I was like, I didn't even think of it. I hold my head up. That's me. What I got to keep my head down for? I ain't scared of anybody. Ain't nobody better than me. I'm not better than anybody. No one's better than me. I thought everyone thought like that. But I realized as I got older, no, everyone doesn't. That everyone doesn't think like that. Some people literally expect you to walk around like, hell, I look like 6'3" walking around with my head down. Please. I wish I would. And I mean, even if I wasn't 6'3", even if I was, because I was short coming up as a kid, I still was like this. I had a growth spurt, guys, when I was about 17, 16, 17. I shot up. I was like five something most of my school years. I was like really short guy, but I was the same guy. I was a quarterback. I still, answered. Hey, if I knew the answer, I'm raising my hand. I always. So that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. I've been on both sides. I've been where I didn't have the physical, and even when I was short, I was really skinny, scrawny, no muscles, just really small. And it didn't matter. It's about the spirit. It's the bark. It's the bite of the dog, not the bark. So you got to remember that spirit, that when that is solid, nothing changed. Yeah, you're gonna walk with your head up. Yeah, you might, be outspoken, but that's just a byproduct of the spirit. And I don't know where that teacher is now. I mean, she was unhappy with me holding my head up as a young 16-year-old young man. That bothered her. And I mean, I'm glad to say to her, if I could today, I never stopped holding my head up. So, teacher, if you're watching me right now, I never stop holding my head up. My head is still up. It ain't never going down until I close my eyes for good in this physical form. And that's what I want for you guys to be, because that's what's got work for me, guys. That's what's got me over the humps during the years. That's what got me over my humps. It was my confidence. It was my belief in myself. It was my faith in the Lord. That's what got me by. It was my faith in the Lord, and that came through, my confidence came through God. It came through God, honestly. It's nothing but God, because I had times in my life I had no reason to be confident on the outside. The money was low, the girls was not flowing through. Everything was on a downhill. But guess what? That faith, that faith would never went away. Always believed in the Lord. I was like, okay, I'm going through this right now, but it's going to get better. Yeah, I'm going through, I might be broke right now. I might not have, what I want right now. I might not have that car. I might not have that outfit, whatever. I'm thinking, all the things are superficial. I might not be able to get this girl I want, but it's going to get better. And that's what I want my people that listen to me to have. My whole job is to transfer what I have and always had, transfer that to you guys. Okay. Hello, Laura. How you doing, Laura? See, she's always respectful, so I be respectful in turn. But yeah, that's my job, is to transfer what God gave me into you guys. So the ones that want to listen can learn. Come on, guys, give me some more likes. The ones that want to listen can learn and grow. And that's how we flow. We flow. Each one teach one. The things I know that have got me, there we go. Yeah. I want to get up to 10, guys. Come on, give me some more. The things I know that have helped me through life and got me to these 50 years. Okay, I want to transfer those things before I leave, and someone else has those things now. Now they have what I have. And that is how you make a difference. Is you take what God gave you and you give that to someone else, and you let it keep flowing and keep going. All right, guys, that's enough about that. But now what I want to talk about is, and we'll talk about those other subjects later this next week, guys, but I want to talk about briefly George Clinton and Parliament. Okay, so check this out. He doesn't get enough credit. But if you guys know George Clinton and Parliament, Funkadelic, you talk about a classic. You talk about hip hop wouldn't even be hip hop without George Clinton and Parliament, Funkadelic. I've been listening all my life. My parents, they always listen to Funkadelic, George Clinton. But I just want to give you a quick bio on him, guys. Check out some of his music for my older people already know. But I always at the end usually give a dedication to people who have inspired me, who I've listened to, or whatever, in whatever genre that they're in. But George Clinton, 83 years old, born July 22nd, 1941. And Eddie Murphy is slated to make a movie for him about him. But man, you're talking about Flashlight. You're talking about what else did they have? You're talking about Knee Deep. You talk about all of these songs over the years. Sir Knows. Aqua Boogie. Aqua Boogie. Oh, yeah. Man, you could listen to some Funkadelic at any time. I don't care if you're in a bad mood. There's no way you're going to be in a bad mood. You put on some Funkadelic. Who's that? Have a blessed day, Jeremy. Okay, you too, buddy. But yeah, you guys just put on some George Clinton, put on some Funkadelic, some Parliament. If you do it today, put it on this weekend and just listen because he used to say, free your mind and your backside will follow. And here's the thing, he's right. Once you free your mind from programming, so he wasn't just wearing silly costumes and outfits and making great musicians and great music. No, he did that. He also had a message. He had the mothership that symbolized freedom, that symbolized black people getting back to what their true heritage, their true history. It's not what someone told you. You're not just slaves. You know, you're inventors, you're so much more. You're royalty. And so he had a message behind the music. And a lot of the people that were in tune, yeah, they were smoking weed or whatever. But still, the fact remained, they got the message. This is what he's saying. Oh, okay. You listen to what he's saying. It's like Gil Scott Heron. It's a message in the music. So you got to remember that George Clinton he's partially responsible for hip hop. I mean, Dr. Dre took basically every beat known to man. He took every beat known to man and used it for his whole catalog. So George Clinton and Parliament do not get the credit they deserve. But you guys put in the comments what your favorite Parliament Funkadelic song is. One Nation Under the Groove. One Nation Under the Groove. Here for just for the funk. All of that stuff. Aqua Boogie, Flashlight, all of that stuff. Tell me, guys, in your comments, what's your favorite George Clinton Funkadelic song? All right, guys, have a good weekend. Remember, love what you do and do what you love. Peace.